Hey guys, it's Amy with Two Oaks Farmstead again, and I'm back in the kitchen. Today is kind of overcast and yucky. It rained through the night, and I decided that today would be another good day to get in here and make up some more stuff. And I want to show you a few of them. I've got several things going on at once. That's how I like to do it. Try to knock out as much as I can at one time, and then be able to spend my time outside. I've got sausage, breakfast sausage, browning over on the stovetop right now because I will be making breakfast burritos a little bit later. I've already made a big double batch of chocolate chip cookies this morning. My kids are very happy. And now I am working on my second batch of freezer biscuits. And I'll probably make several of these today. But this is what I'm working on now, and I wanted to show you this process. They're really good, and it's wonderful to have these on hand. It's basically just biscuits that you can use for, biscuits and gravy or, breakfast sandwiches. I do that for the kids a lot, biscuits and jelly, whatever. But they're terrific to have on hand. They're so easy to make. They're very quick. So I'm just going to show you what I've gone through so far. I put 4 cups of flour in my bowl here. And to that, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Okay. And then a teaspoon of salt. Okay. That's all the dry ingredients. I'm going to mix that together real fast. And then I'm going to use my mixer. You can use a food processor. You can use your hand, a pastry cutter, however you want to do it. But makes it fast and easy for me. It calls for a cup of shortening. You could use butter. You could use coconut oil. This is just your fat portion of the recipe. So I'm using shortening because things are a little bit up in the air what's going to happen as far as all of the COVID everything and quarantine this and everyone's gone out and gotten crazy buying up stuff. And I've got better, but I don't want to give it up for this when I can use shortening. And I want to make sure that I still have it on hand for things that has to have butter. So I'm going to go ahead and get the other half of a cup here of my shortening out. I like to use this little tiny spatula because it really kind of helps me dip it out of here, and it helps me smash it down because, when you're trying to measure things like this, a lot of times you get an air pocket, and so you don't get a good measure. Then it also helps me get it out of the measuring cup, which is always an issue with something as sticky as shortening. Okay, we're good there. All right, now what I'm going to do is add my dry ingredients into this. And the only other thing that it requires is 1 3/4 cup of milk. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that in there right now so it doesn't spray up on me when I turn it on. It has a tendency to do that. I'm just a messy cook, and that's why. Okay. Pull that stuff down off the sides. So that it all gets incorporated. And once that is done, once it kind of mixes it all up into a big sticky ball, then I'm going to take it off and I'm going to put it onto my already floured slab. That way I can kind of push it out and roll it out into a thickness that I like. And then I will use my biscuit cutter to cut out my biscuits. And I will show you that and tell you what's next. Okay, so my dough is ready, and I know that because it is a sticky mess. It's not like it's yeast bread. Yeast bread, you don't want it to be real sticky. You want to add your flour, into it until it's not all sticky. But this stuff here is just biscuit dough, so it's going to be sticky. Got it on my floured surface, and I'm going to add more flour to it. And what I like to do is just kind of push it out into kind of a little disc here. And then just give it a bit of a roll. I don't want to get it too terribly thin. I could probably get more biscuits out of it if I rolled it out thinner, but I like the biscuits to be a little on the thicker side. So, okay, I think that's probably good enough for us. And then all I'm going to do is take my biscuit cutter, which you can use a drinking glass, whatever you want to use. But I'm just going to run around and cut these out. And then when I'm done, there will be little bits of dough, it left in between the cuts. And I will smush them all together and go back and cut some more until there is just enough to mold one left. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you what happens next. So after I get all of these cut out, then I'm going to place them in a single layer on a cookie sheet, or maybe on a couple of cookie sheets, and stick them in the freezer, just straight up like that. Don't have to cover them or anything. You just throw them in the freezer for about an hour or two until they are solid frozen. Once they're frozen, you take them out and you put them into a like a Ziploc bag or something, and excuse me, and have them in the freezer. I like to write my instructions on the bag because my boys can go in there anytime they want a biscuit and do it themselves. They don't have to get Mama to come and handle it for them. So that's a pretty cool idea with this stuff. But you're going to, with these, when you pull, you can stick them in the oven just straight out of the freezer. But if you thaw them for about 30 minutes first, they will rise a little bit better. So I've got a bunch of biscuits there. I'm going to take all those little dough pieces and squish them together and make some more dough, make some more biscuits. And that way I've got plenty out of this. And this is my second batch. I will probably end up making a few more today in the midst of doing the other things that I'm doing. And I'll tell you that you when you cook these, you cook them at 450 for about 8 to 12 minutes. And kind of keep an eye on them. It just depends on how your oven is. But these make terrific biscuits. We use them for biscuits and gravy and biscuits and jelly. And I sometimes make the little breakfast sandwiches for the kids with these. So they all love them. So this is another one of those really great preparations that you can do ahead of time. And that way you've got your hands